Namaskar. In this session, we will discuss sheet metal stamping. So, in sheet metal stamping, die plays an important role. Already we discussed, but today we'll have a revision of some important components in sheet metal stamping. A stamping die is a special, one of a kind precision tool that cuts and forms sheet metal into a desired shape or profile. Dies are often referred to simply as tooling. Usually, only one die is made to stamp out a certain part, shape, or certain types of shape. The exception to this rule is when the volume of parts is so high that a stamper needs to run a die continually to meet the quantity requirements. In this case, it may be necessary to create two identical dies. When one die is in need of repair or maintenance, the other die can be take its place. Often dies are designed with inserts to produce many variations on a single part, such as adding or removing holes or achieving slight form changes. A die basically consists of two holes. One is punch and another is cavity. Already we know what is punch and die or punch and cavity. Both the punch and cavity components typically are attached to precision guided metal plates called die shoes, upper die shoe and lower die shoes. The shoes assembled with the die is referred as a die set. In previous session we discussed what is die set. In this lecture we discussed die sets, two die sets, upper die sets and lower die sets. So die set can be made from steel or high strength aluminum. So although many commercial available components are used in manufacturing die, most of the dies cutting and forming section usually are made from special types of hardened steel called tool steel. Areas of the die that are not intended to cut or form the metal most often are made from low cost mild steel. Dies also can contain cutting and forming sections made from solid carbides or various other hard wear resistance materials. Where cutting is required, it is made up of solid carbide or harder materials or wear resistance material. Where there is it is not intended to cut or form the metal, then low cost mild steel is used. These components already we discussed in previous lecture. So die size is also important. Die range in size from those used to make microelectronics, so which can fit in the palm of your hand, to those 20 feet square and 6 feet thick that are used to make entire automobile body sides. So there are several ranges, means from micrometer to some feet. So not all dies are used to form sheet metal. Some dies can cut and form plastic, paper, rubber and other materials. You probably have seen embossed letterheads or raised impression on a brochure or marketing pieces. So these are made with embossing dies. You may have seen uh, pennies smashed into souvenir coin from attractions such as Walt Disney World, which often contains raised images. So these trinkets are made using coining dies. So even the coins in your pocket are made using dies. The part a stamping operation produces is called piece part. A certain high-speed dice can make more than one part per cycle, as fast as 1500 cycle strokes per minute. So all stamping dies performs one of two basic operations. One is cutting operation and forming operation. Already we discussed these operations. So many dies can handle both operations. So metal cutting. The cutting, perhaps the most common operation performed in stamping dies. During cutting, the metal is severed by placing it between two bypass tools. So two bypassing tool steel sections that have a small gap between them. This gap and distance is called cutting clearance. The process of metal cutting not only takes a great deal of force but it also produces a great deal of shocks. For this reason, the metal cutting is one of the most severe stamping operations. Excessive shocks can be cause die section to break, punches to snap, and presses to fail. So the arrangement is made to absorb the shock. So imagine in this scenario, if you had a hammer in your hand, I instructed you to set it on a nail and push it into a piece of wood. You most likely would not have a great deal of success. However, if I told you to lift the hammer and strike the nail, it would go into the wood with very little effort. The energy of hammer falling combined with the shock performed the necessary work. If you have ever been a stamping plant, that is cutting thick, high strength steel, you literally can feel a floor shake every time the press cycles. The presses intended for cutting heavy and high strength material usually are designed with extra heavy duty frames and components that can withstand these tremendous shocks. Certain presses even have special dampening units installed to help dissipate, dissipate and absorb the shocks. So what happens during metal cutting? First, understand that you sometimes must shift your paradigm or thought pattern with respect to sheet metal. Despite its physical appearance, density, strength, weight, sheet metal is an elastomer, which essentially means that when it is subjected to a great deal of forces, it behaves much like rubber plastic. Think of it like silly putty. You know the rubbery stuff that came in a red egg that you may have played with as a kid. Okay, some metals are far more rubbery than others. Harder metals such as high strength steel are less like silly putty. In most cutting operation, the metal is stressed to the point of failure between two bypassing die sections or components. To cut metal, the die must first have a cutting punch and a mating section into which the punch enters. The cutting clearance and the distance between cutting sections varies with respect to the metal types, thickness, hardness, and desired edges. So desired edge quality is also important. So cutting clearance, the distance between cutting section, the varies with respect to metal type, which metal is using, thickness of metal, hardness and desired edge qualities. Okay, the cutting clearance already we discussed. How to calculate the clearance also we discussed. In stamping also the same principle we have to use. The cutting clearance often is expressed as a percentage of metal's thickness, although clearance can vary from 0 to as much as 20% of metal thickness. The most common cutting clearance used is about 10%. For example, if you were to design a die to cut metal than 0.050 inch thick, the distance between the upper and lower cutting sections would be 0.005 inch. So it is a 10%. Excessive and insufficient clearance between the cutting sections can produce an excessive burr on the part. To minimize the burr height, the cutting sections not only must have proper cutting clearance between them, they must be ground periodically to maintain the perfectly square edge. Die makers and technicians refer to this process of grinding die sections simply as sharpening the sections. So this is very important thing. So after the punch and the mating sections have been ground as necessary, they often have to shim back up to their working height. The shimming is the process by which the thin sheets of material, typically stainless steels, are placed underneath the ground section in an effort to compensate for the amount that has been ground off. Grinding and shimming are normal tasks in a basic maintenance procedure. So metal cutting, the metal cutting punch travels downward and hits the sheet metal. At this point, the great deal of shock is transferred up through the punch. As punch begins to enter the metal, it deforms it slightly. Remember that metal is an elastomer. Imagine driving your finger into marshmallow. The amount of deformation is product of metal's ductility, thickness and clearance between the mating cutting section. As the punch continues to travel downward, it begins to push out and cold extrude the metal. When the metal's shear strength is met, it begins to fracture and break away. The shear strength can be defined as maximum strength that metal can withstand when subject to two bypassing planes. So this process produces a cut edge with a shiny portion referred as the cut band or shear zone, and a portion called the breakout or fracture zone. In most conventional cutting operation, the thickness of the cut band is about 20 to 40% of metal's thickness, and with the exception of specialized process such as fine blanking, it's somewhat different. So conventional cutting process do not produce a perfectly square cut edge, but rather a smooth, small flat followed by a slightly angled rough surface it produces. This is an important characteristic for product designers to understand, because this angle means that the part's dimensions will differ from one side to another. Selecting cutting clearance and other engineering guidelines and specialized processes will be covered in greater detail later in this particular subject. We'll discuss. So some important things we discussed already in previous lectures. After the cutting punch performs the necessary work, the metal compresses and has tendency to stick to the punch. For this reason, the punch stripper is necessary. The stripper is used. In last session, we discussed what is stripper. The stripper is a spring-loaded and urethane component that functions to pull the metal from the punch. Because the sheet metal is interfacing with the cutting punch and mating die section, these items usually are made from premium, tough, wear-resistant tool and carbide. Okay, so this is about the die and the cutting, metal cutting with the help of die. This is general information. It is related to the stamping process. If you have any doubt, you can ask your doubt, you can clarify your doubts. If any query, you can put your query into the chat box. Okay, during doubt clarification section, we will discuss in details about these doubts. Thank you very much.